2025 brings new releases, new metas, and new features, which means you need to know which Pokemon to power up out of the literal hundreds that are available. Stardust is like the most valuable resource in the entire game, so what could possibly be worth the Stardust? Today, I'm going to show you which Pokemon are worth powering up in 2025. Pokemon number 1, Groudon. Groudon was released back in December of 2017, and the shiny came out in 2019 during the Hoenn celebration. We also had Primal Groudon in 2023, released during the Hoenn tour, and last year in March of 2024, Shadow Groudon was released for the first time ever. And today, it's one of the best Pokemon in the entire game. This guy, Primal Groudon, is the #1 ground type in Pokemon Go, the #6 fire type, and shockingly enough, the #3 overall grass type, which is so random, but it has Solar Beam, or can have Solar Beam. Then this guy, Shadow Groudon, is actually the #3 best overall ground type, and normal Groudon is the 7th best ground type. The best moveset you're going to look for on Groudon, if you want a ground-based Groudon, is Mudshot and Precipice Blades. For fire, Mudshot and Fire Blast. Then for grass, Mudshot and Solar Beam. And in the Go Battle League, Groudon is also super useful, which makes it overall still even more useful. It's ranked 15th in the Masters League as a normal, and the Shadow is 26th in the Masters League. Also, not to mention, Primal Groudon does give you boosts if you have a high, well, even if you have like a low Primal level, but the more times you Primal Evolve, the higher your rank goes. I would recommend Primal Evolving once per day if you have the Primal energy until it gets to max level, because max level you get enhanced catch candy bonus, which means more candy when catching fire and ground type Pokemon. Very, very underrated. It also boosts grass, fire, and ground type attacks in raids. You get extra XP when catching ground, fire, and grass type Pokemon, or ground and fire type Pokemon. And you get extra XL candy and candy from catching ground and fire. So this is like super useful, super meta relevant, especially if you have a max level Primal. And then when looking at my Groudon, we've got this guy, which is just a beast. We've got this guy from 2017, 96, which I have like 4,000 CP for some reason. I honestly haven't powered up that many Groudon, which feels like a mistake. And this Shadow Groudon, although very good, base, its IVs are kind of terrible. Do I have a Hundo Groudon? Wow, I don't have a Hundo. No way, I've never caught a Hundo, that's crazy. Okay, well, I will be powering up Pokemon today, don't you worry, because I've got 2.2 million dust, but we're not touching Groudon quite yet. Pokemon number 2 is Kyogre, and that is because Kyogre can also Primal Evolve, and Primal Kyogre is the #1 overall water type in the entire game. Plus, it just looks sick. Like, look how tight this thing looks, dude. This is crazy. Also, I mean, come on. It was released back in January of 2018. The shiny came out in June of 2018, the Primal during the Hoenn tour in 2023, and the Shadow was released in January of 2024. Again, the Primal is the #1 overall water type, Shadow #3 overall water type, and the normal, boring old regular Kyogre is the #6 overall water type. And the best moveset, Waterfall and Origin Pulse. And just like with Primal Groudon, you can get your Primal level up on this thing, and it gives all of those same bonuses, but for catching water type Pokemon. So this is great if there's like a water type Pokemon spawning during a community day, or during like some sort of like spawn day, go fest that you're looking to catch a lot of. You're gonna get a lot more XP, a lot more candy when catching water types with a max level Primal Kyogre. It is a fantastic Pokemon. And I would power it up, but like, we got a Shundo. We also have a level 50 Shiny 98. Technically we have a 4,000 CP Shadow, which is really good IVs, honestly. But it's already powered up, so I'm pretty happy with this. Oh, but you know what? I totally forgot. We actually have a second 100% IV Kyogre. It's at 3880. Let's bring this up to level 50, shall we? Where's level 50? Right here. 4,115 CP. Level 40, I'm sorry, not level 50. We're not gonna max this out completely, but we'll give it a little juice there. Next, we have Rayquaza. This amazing dragon was released in February of 2018, with the shiny released in July of 2019. Then the iconic Mega Rayquaza was released during GoFest Osaka in August of 2023. Now, Mega Rayquaza is a little bit trickier to get. You can't just get energy to use it. You needed to get an item called a Meteorite, and then you have to use that Meteorite to teach your Rayquaza the move Dragon Ascent. Then once it has Dragon Ascent, you can Mega Evolve it. And you're going to want to, because Mega Rayquaza is the #1 overall Dragon type in the entire game, and the #1 flying type. And then normal Rayquaza, not Mega Evolved, is the #2 flying type overall and the #12 Dragon type. Best moveset for a flying type Rayquaza is Air Slash and Dragon Ascent, and then Dragon type is Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe. And same, this is a Mega Pokemon, so kind of like with the Primals, it does have a Mega level, which gives you bonuses for Dragon and Flying type Pokemon spawns. Dragon-type Pokemon are typically some of the most rare in the game, so when you have an excess of dragons in the wild, that's a great event. You should play it, and you should definitely have a max level Rayquaza or any max level dragon mega evolved so that you're getting the extra candy and XL candy for those very rare dragon type Pokemon. And I've already maxed out all my good Rayquaza. Then we have Garchomp. We first got Garchomp in Pokemon Go back in May of 2019, and the shiny was released in December of 2019. Then in June of 2023, Shadow Garchomp was released, and in November of 2023, Mega Garchomp. So this is a Pokemon that has like a ton of different forms that you could use in game, and they're all really useful. Wait, I've never Mega Evolved a Garchomp? What? Wait, this is crazy. Okay, well, I guess for the first time ever, we're gonna get Mega Garchomp in Pokemon Go. That's so funny. I don't know why I never Mega Evolved this. Well, I should have, because Mega Garchomp, oh, this looks so good. I forgot how good Shiny Garchomp looks. You seen Mega Shiny Garchomp? Oh, right? Wow, that looks insane. What the heck? That's fun. Okay, well, practice what you preach, right? Hold on, I have to tag these 3 as Mega so that I can start leveling up their Mega energy. That's amazing. Well, Mega Garchomp is the #2 best Dragon type and the #2 best Ground type. Really good. And then Shadow Garchomp, also very useful. Currently the #6 Dragon and the #4 Ground. And then regular Garchomp, also useful. The 19th best Dragon type and the 11th best Ground type. The best moveset you're looking for on Garchomp for a Ground type is Mud Shot and Earth Power, and then for a Dragon type is Dragon Tail and Outrage. This thing is a monster. Again, the Mega looks this looks so cool. The Mega looks so sick. And I got a hundo. I actually have 2 hundos, and they're both level 50. So that's fantastic. And then this guy, the Shadow is also super duper good, and we already leveled that up to level 40, so we'll leave it there. That's sweet. Wow, I can't believe you didn't have this. This looks so cool. Next, we have the one and only Mewtwo, which was released for the first time at the Stadium event August 2017 in Japan. Then we had the shiny form release in September of 2019, and the Shadow form release in July of 2020. Then we had Shadow Shiny release in May of 2023, which was fantastic. Now, we still do not have Mega Mewtwo in Pokemon Go, Mega Mewtwo X and Y, but I am predicting that some of them, one of the 2, hopefully, we might see this year. And I did actually make an entire video predicting new Pokemon in 2025, and I've already been right on a couple of them, and I'll leave the link to that video down in the description below. But as far as Mewtwo goes, the Shadow version of Mewtwo is, stay with me here, the #3 overall Ghost type, #3 overall Ice type, #10 overall Electric type, #6 overall Normal type, and the #1 Psychic type in the entire game. This thing, Shadow Mewtwo, is the best generalist to ever come to Pokemon Go. And even regular Mewtwo is super useful. It's the 4th best Psychic type, the 10th best Normal type, and the 14th best Ice type. And that's because Mewtwo can learn a bunch of moves. Like if we go to use an Elite Charge TM on Psystrike, it can learn Hyper Beam, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Focus Blast, Flamethrower. It can learn a bunch of cool moves. Oh, and also Shadow Mewtwo, by the way, the 22nd best overall Pokemon in the Masters League, so it's good in PvP as well. Then its best moveset when it comes to Psychic is Psycho Cut and Psystrike, Ghost, Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. And again, just one of the best generalists in the entire game. Mewtwo is a monster. Now we've got a fun one, Gengar, which was released with the launch of the game back in July of 2016. It's one of the oldest Pokemon in the entire game. Shiny Gengar we got back in November of 2018. Mega Gengar released in Halloween of 2020, then Shadow Gengar in Halloween of 2023, and Dynamax and Gigantamax Gengar happened at the end of 2024. Which, yes, I did get the shiny of, and it's pretty freaking sick. Now, Gengar is very useful for kind of a lot of reasons because it's featured in the new Dynamax and Gigantamax feature. But overall, Mega Gengar is one of the best shinies in the entire game, in my opinion, and it's also the #2 best Ghost type and the #1 best Poison type. Shadow Gengar, which I don't even think I have in my account, which is interesting, whoops, is the #8 overall Ghost. And Gigantamax Gengar, which I just showed, but he's gone now because he's behind the Mega, is the #1 Ghost type overall in the Dynamax and Gigantamax raids. And the best moveset is Lick and Shadow Ball. We're obviously all waiting for Mega Mewtwo, and we've been waiting for literal years for it, and not Gigantamax, Mega Gengar and Shadow Gengar will be the best Pokemon to use, one of the best Pokemon to use against Mega Mewtwo raids when it eventually comes around. So a really important Pokemon to have. And funny enough, I have a good, I've got good Gengar, I guess kind of. Shiny 96, it's best buddies. Honestly, dude, let's level 40 this. 138,000 Stardust, 178 XLs. Why not? Level 50, our first level 50 Gengar. And then I think this is 100% EV Gengar too. This is. It's 100% EV costume. I mean, it doesn't get more rare than that. Oh, I don't have the XL candies. Dang it. Whatever. Next Pokemon, Necrozma. which was released back in GoFest 2024 in Sendai, Japan, and the shiny came out the same day. Now, Necrozma isn't just normal Necrozma, it has two other forms, Duskmane Necrozma and Dawn Wings Necrozma, and they're both very meta relevant. Dawn Wings is the #1 overall Ghost type and number 16th overall Psychic type, so again, super useful for Mega Mewtwo raids. Where Duskmane is the #1 overall Steel type and the number 15 Psychic type. So this is the best Steel type in the game, this is the best Ghost type in the game. They're both of the same candy, really useful, which is why I have so many Necrozma candies and XL candies. We have 2,300 XLs, bro. Like, I grinded these raids. And it worked, because check this out, got a hundo. And they're also useful in the Go Battle League, too. Duskmane is the 4th best overall Pokemon in the Masters League, and Dawn Wings is the 13th best. The best movesets, Dawn Wings is Shadow Claw and Moongeist Beam in the, PvE. And then in PvP, Shadow Claw, Dark Pulse, and Moongeist Beam. And then for Duskmane, it's Metal Claw and Sunstrike Steel, or Sunsteel Strike. And in PvP, it is Shadow Claw, Dark Pulse, and Sunsteel Strike. And this guy's really important because Black and White Kyurem are coming to Pokemon Go very soon here and releasing for the first time in 2025. So having good Steel types like this guy, very important. Next, we've got Palkia, which was released in January of 2019, with the shiny released in 2021, and then Shadow Palkia released for the first time ever this year in 2025, and Origin Form Palkia released back in 2024. Now, all of these Pokemon are very good and very good for different reasons. Shadow Palkia is the 14th best Water type and the 4th best Dragon type, and Origin Form Palkia right here is the 5th best Dragon type, and this guy, is he a hundo? Not even close. And then regular Palkia is 12th overall in the Masters League, so very useful. And Origin Form is the 2nd best Pokemon in the Masters League, extremely useful. And the best movesets include Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor or Spatial Rend, and in PvP, you want Dragon Breath, Spatial Rend, and Aqua Tail. Also, not to mention, Origin Form Palkia has one of the greatest effects in Pokemon Go, Spatial Rend, which allows you to see Pokemon 2 times the radius around you, so it expands your Pokemon radius. So during events like Community Day or GoFest, having Spatial Rend is probably one of the most useful things you can do while playing. You get way more spawns, it's so useful, but it's expensive and requires a lot of Palkia candy, so you really need to grind these when they're in the raids. Tyranitar is up next. Released back in February of 2017, Tyranitar has been one of the best Pokemon in the game forever. We got the shiny during Community Day in 2018 and the Shadow in 2019. Also in July of 2023, we had the Mega release, making this one of the most versatile Pokemon in the game. Now, Mega Tyranitar is an absolute monster. It is the 2nd best overall Dark type and the #1 Rock type in the entire game, which is one of the most useful typings in the entire game. And then Shadow Tyranitar is the #5 best overall Rock type and the #2 best overall Dark type. And this thing's already level 50 because he's a monster. And then regular Tyranitar, the #4 best Dark type. And the best movesets include Bite and Brutal Swing for Dark, and Smackdown and Stone Edge for Rock. And I have a bunch of really good Tyranitar, including, check this out, I do have a Shadow Shiny. It's a 0 star, but I did get it to level 50, because this is like one of the coolest Pokemon in my entire account. So this guy's been around forever. It's very, very cool. The Mega goes over 6,000 CP, which is crazy. And I didn't realize, but we have Crunch on this. We don't even have Brutal Swing. So let's go in here. Let's use an Elite Charge TM. We're gonna forget Crunch and give it Brutal Swing, because I think we need an Elite TM. So there we go. Cool. Next is another OG Pokemon, Venusaur, which was released back when the game released in 2016. We got the shiny in 2018, the Shadow in 2019, and the Dynamax in 2024. We also got Mega Venusaur back in 2020, and in 2024, Gigantamax Venusaur as well. So there's a lot of different kinds of Venusaur in Pokemon Go. Here are the most useful ones. Mega Venusaur is the #2 best Grass type and the #6 best Poison type, and Shadow Venusaur, the #8 best Grass type. Also, Venusaur has a clone variation, which you can see right here, which is one of the rarest Pokemon to ever be released in the game's history. I got a couple of them, and I'm keeping them. So those are pretty cool. Now, the best moveset on Venusaur to get it as a good Grass type, Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant. And what makes Venusaur so great is that it's such a budget-friendly top Pokemon. Bulbasaur spawns quite a bit. You can find it everywhere. The candy is not hard. And because of all the different variants, it is very, very useful, including Gigantamax Venusaur, which is the best Grass type in the Dynamax system. Now we have Feraligatr. Released in the huge batch of Pokemon back in 2017, we had the shiny in 2019 and the Shadow in January of 2022. And the Shadow is what's really useful here. Shadow Feraligatr is the #8 best overall Water type, and in the Go Battle League, it is ranked #1 in the Ultra League and 7th in the Great League, which is why this Feraligatr I have powered up to 2493, and I don't have it maxed out, just in case I want to take it to the Ultra League and the Go Battle League, we have it ready. But also regular Feraligatr is still pretty good. It's the 20th best water type, but it's the 5th best non-mega, non-legendary, non-shadow water type. So if you don't have a ton of megas or shadows or legendaries, Feraligatr is a great budget water type. Also, it's ranked 7th in the Ultra League and 8th in the Great League, so it's very good in PvP too. And the best moveset, Water Gun and Hydro Cannon as a water type, and in PvP, Shadow Claw, Hydro Cannon, and Ice Beam. Now we have Rhyperior. Funny enough, I don't even have a Shadow Rhyperior, which is like a huge mess up on my part. But we have the normal Rhyperior here, which I will be leveling up to level 50 right now. I think this is a hundo too, 4221 CP level 50. It's a hundo. Well, Shadow Rhyperior is the number 6th best overall ground type and one of the best rock types overall. And normal Rhyperior, not Shadow, is the 13th best ground type and the 6th best rock type. It's super good. And then in PvP, Shadow Rhyperior is 25th in the Masters League and Rhyperior is 5th. Best movesets include Smackdown and Rock Wrecker for rock, Mud Slap and Earthquake for ground, and Mud Slap, Breaking Swipe, and Rock Wrecker for PvP. And I'm realizing that I have Mud Slap and Rock Wrecker, so we need to use a regular TM, I think, to get Smackdown. There it is. Beautiful. And just like with Venusaur and Feraligatr, the best thing about Rhyperior is the fact that it's not a mega, it's not a legendary, it's not a shadow, it's super easy. Rhyhorn are very easy to find, and Rhyperior is definitely a very easy Pokemon to get in Pokemon Go. Super duper beginner or casual friendly, and it's one of the best. Then we've got Heracross. Now, Mega Heracross is a monster. It's currently the number 2 fighting type overall and the number 1 bug type in the game. The best moveset as a fighting includes counter and close combat, and as a bug type, Struggle Bug and Mega Horn. So regular Heracross also is like useful in some scenarios, but it's the Mega that's definitely the best. And I do have 2 hundos and a shiny, and we're working all 3 of these to max level Mega. We're currently at high level, so we have like a couple more days worth of that. And I'm realizing that we have enough like Stardust and Candy to get one of these guys maxed out. Honestly, dude, I'm gonna do the shiny. I understand I have 2 hundos. We'll get those there eventually. Can we do? No, we can't. We'll save it. I'm like afraid to use XL Candy. Then we've got one of Pokemon Go's most historic Pokemon ever, Gyarados. It's been in the game since it released, and Shiny Gyarados was the first ever shiny in Pokemon Go history, releasing back in March of 2017. We then had Shadow Gyarados in April of 2019, and Mega Gyarados in 2021. And Mega Gyarados is a monster. It's the 5th best Dark type and the 4th best Water type. And there is a Shadow Gyarados, and Shadow Gyarados is the 30th best Masters League Pokemon and 12th best Water type. The best movesets include, for Dark, Bite and Crunch, and for Water, Waterfall and Hydro Pump. Same thing with this Pokemon, it's like not a legendary. I mean, the Mega and Shadow are very useful, but like Magikarp typically is easy enough to find, especially during water type event spawns. He's around. And somehow I have no 100% EV Gyarados, that's crazy. Then we've got Salamence, which was released back in 2018, the shiny in April of 2019 during Community Day, and the shadow in December of 2019. Then in January of 2023, we got Mega Salamence, which is one of the best Pokemon in the game. The Mega looks amazing, and it ranks as the number 7 Dark type, the number 3 Dragon type, and the number 3 best Flying type in the game. Then Shadow Salamence, which does have a Shadow Shiny, which I do have, which is level 50, is the 11th best Dark type, the 7th best Dragon type, and the 4th best Flying type. The best movesets for Flying, Dragon Tail and Fly. For Dragon, Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. And for Dark, Bite and Fly. This guy's a monster, both of these. Mega looks amazing, and it can be shiny, and the Shadow Shiny is incredible. Then we've got Gallade and Gardevoir, and that's because each of them has a Mega form, and they're both really, really good. And Mega Gallade, we just had released during a Mega Gallade Raid Day this month, January of 2025. Now, how good are these Pokemon? Well, Mega Gallade is the 5th best Psychic type in the game, and the 8th best Fighting type, and Mega Gardevoir is the number 1 overall Fairy type, and the number 6th Poison type in the game. So both very, very useful at the top of their game. And the best moveset for Mega Gardevoir, at least, Charm and Dazzling Gleam for Fairy, Confusion and Psychic for Psychic, and Low Kick and Close Combat for Fighting, which actually I think is for Gallade, rather. Both very useful Pokemon, obviously both evolving from Routes, which does have a shadow and everything, and can be shiny, which makes them semi-accessible because Routes definitely does spawn semi-often. And those are the best Pokemon that you should invest your Stardust into in 2025 in Pokemon Go, but they're not the only cool Pokemon we have this year that you might want to power up. Remember to check out the video in the description going over the Pokemon I believe will come out this year in 2025. See you in the next one.